Good morning, everybody.
There you go. You got 2 minutes.
Let everybody get comfortable. Technical difficulties.
You can't hit the button.
Okay. Why do you laugh?
You stop.
Mute.
Stop stealing church batteries, okay?
Okay, here we go. If everyone will stand and sing One Light with us.
1, 2, 3, 4. Brings us all together. One light inside you and me. One light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. One light brings us all together. One light inside you and me. One light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. It's the light that shines inside of me.
Get comfortable. Our prayer for inner peace. Let us come together in prayer, friends. We take this time in prayer to become centered. We use our gifts of imagination and creativity to turn away from outer concerns and circumstances and turn within to our inner sanctuary of pure love. We immerse ourselves in the power of the all-encompassing, unconditional love where there are no expectations and no reservations. Nothing can diminish the power of the divine love. We live, love, move, and have our being from this unending reservoir of love. Therefore, we are the power of love. That, dear ones, is our truth, and from that place we claim wholeness, freedom, and peace for our lives. And we hold the high watch for peace and harmony in the world. We see the world not as it is, but as we know it can be. By faith, we hold the world in the light of peace that is possible. We take a moment now to silently add our individual prayers. We go forward now, knowing the light of God shines on our paths, and we are grateful. So it is. Amen. Will you please say our statement of faith? There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscient, omnipresent, and and our core values. Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuits of truth and knowledge in a safe environment to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. Will you please stand and sing We Are Guided by the Light?
We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. When the hope seems low and the sky starts to cry, make a change to make a better way. When a tear comes down before it hits the ground, the hope you thought was lost is now found. We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. You can make the world stop with the quiet peace of time. Prayer is known to move the biggest stones. When you open your eyes, you see what grows inside. A better day will make a better way. We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. We are guided by the light. We are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way. We are guided by the light. Yes, we are guided by the light. Every day we make a new way.
And even without Linda, we are going to have the choir sing Build an Ark. Sending love and hugs, Linda.
We don't need her. No. I'm joking. Oh, yeah. Oh, one second. For those of you who don't know, our great choir director, Linda, had surgery on Thursday on her shoulder and rotator cuff, and now she's rotating me in the house. And life at home is really fun. So we're going to make it work. Holly told me that we can make it work.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm going to get my drummer situated. Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Are you ready?
Okay, quiet. One, two, three, four. Not yet, wait a minute. Build an ark, head for the open water, tired of all the feelings, tired of all the killings, tired of the men who make the laws and break them in their time and please. Tired of all the big lies. Where are all the good guys? Sometimes I swear I feel the way that no one did when the Lord commanded. Build an ark, head for the open waters. Save your sons and daughters. Oh, build an ark. Oh, build an ark. When the storm is ended, you know the world is mended. Build an ark. Build an ark. Head for the open waters. Save your sons and daughters. Build an ark. Build an ark. When the storm is ended, you know the world is mended. Build an ark. My father and my mother, my sisters and my brothers, all the friends that I hear about, and all the women I've learned to live, gather them together and promise them forever. We will be safe when the world around us, all we have to do is love each other. Oh, build an ark. When the open waters, save your sons and daughters. Build an ark. Build an ark. When the storm is ended, you know the world is mended. Build an ark. Okay, this is where Jeff plays. We gather them together, promise them forever. We'll be safe when the world around us, all we have to do is love each other. Build an ark, head for the open waters. Save your sons and daughters. Build an ark, build an ark, build an ark. When the storm has ended, you know the world is mended. Build an ark. Say, build an ark. Head for the open waters. Save your sons and daughters. Build an ark. Build an ark. When the storm is ended, you know the world is mended. Build an ark. Build an ark. Home for the open waters. Save your sons and daughters. Build an ark. Build an ark. When the storm is ended, you know the world is ended. Build an ark.
Good job. Our daily word. Let's shut this up.
Good morning. The word for today is inspired. My words and actions inspire others. Today I reflect on the clear vision, powerful words, and courageous actions of leaders such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I appreciate how one person's example can inspire so many others to move beyond thoughts and limitations and focus on the possibilities for good that are always present. Inspiration can be a thought of as a breath of God. I, like all people, am made in the image and likeness of the divine. I give thanks for people I have known whose vibrant faith and love, even in the most challenging circumstances, have inspired me. guided by my divine gifts of imagination and zeal, I join with those building a world where each person lives freely with joy. And from Genesis 2:7 it says, "Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." Let us repeat together.
My words and actions inspire others. There's a holy rush around us. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Relax your bodies and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. It'll allow you to lessen outer distractions as you focus inwardly. Go through your body, from your scalp to your toes, releasing everywhere you feel any tightness or restriction. And breathe. In fact, whatever you do, keep breathing. Jesus said, "You are in the world, but not of it." St. Paul said, "We live, move, and have our being in God." And our daily word reminded us that God breathed into us His own breath, and that we are indeed made in the image and likeness of God. So, there's a bit of a dichotomy within us. We do have bodies made of earth substance, and we're very much involved in the ongoings of the earthly existence. And yet, there is this other heavenly aspect of us. Those two parts of us, heaven and earth, they're not at war. But sometimes we ourselves find ourselves not quite at peace between them. We live in both worlds. We, of course, take nourishment from the physical. We also need nourishment from the spiritual source, from the spiritual world. And maybe that's why we find ourselves longing for something that takes our breath away. Awe. Love that annihilates everything in its wake. Peace, peace, peace. That those things are what come from the other realm, the heavenly realm. In the silence, as we enter that, hold those thoughts in meditation. Truly, the kingdom of God within you is closer than the breath in your lungs. May the holy presence within you, within all of us, may it light our way, the way as we walk the earth, and the way as we return to the kingdom of God within, until there is no separation. Until we come full circle. And may we be comforted with these words from Julian of Norwich, who had a vision in which Jesus said, in answer to her question, why do we have all this misery? And he said, all shall be well, all will be well, and all shall be exceeding well. Amen.
We are one in love, bound of love. We are one in love, bound of love. We have joined our spirits with the Spirit of God. We are one in the bond of love. We are one in the bond of love. We are one in the bond of love. We have joined our spirit with the Spirit of God. We are one in the bond of love. We are one in the bond of love.
If you need it, you can just help yourself. Hi. I want to thank our music team, Jeff and Holly, and the choir. There were some times I thought, you know what? We should all get up and dance, especially to that Jimmy Buffett type song there. Woo. Yeah. Well, We, along this time of year, frequently try to judge our life, you know, the past year, and set new goals or whatever. We're using standards of judgment to go through that process. Well, who made those standards that you're using? Think about that a minute. And we may even ask, you know, have I been of any help to anyone in this past year? And we're judging ourselves by some standard. And who made those standards? What did we accept as the criteria by which we should judge ourselves and whatever else we judge? By the way, on that note, let's see if I can get this right. British poet W.H. Auden said, "We're all here on earth to help others. What on earth the others are for, I don't have a clue." I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. But when we decide to take a good look at how our days added up, it's a little daunting to decide how to tackle that, you know. So I did what I always do when I have a question about things. I go to Rabbi Google. I don't know if anybody else does, but I like Google. Or maybe you use, I don't know, Siri or Alexa. So this is what I came up with when I Googled. Identify key life areas. Analyze patterns and trends. Review your goals and reflect on major events. Consider your emotional state and gather evidence, concrete evidence from your files, receipts, what have you. Highlight your accomplishments. Doesn't stop there. Identify areas for improvement, and then set goals. Just making that list made me really tired. And I thought there's an easier way, and of course there is. Our daily word covered almost all of it, so I'm going to go over that. First of all, you might reflect on all those times that you were enthusiastic, all those times that you were following a path that you felt was yours, when you felt like you were on track. And then remember those times when you were just following whatever, you know, things you've always done. And then think about how you felt when you were following your own independent thinking, or when you were following standardized and cultured commercial, maybe, I don't know, those other things. And you'll find you have different feelings. One is enthusiasm, alive, and the other is kind of ho-hum, or even doing it out of guilt, responsibility, heavy sense of responsibility. Okay. You are not here to live with things that other people have made, to live with the thoughts that other people have come up with. We do have to consider them, of course, because some of them are pretty close to us. But we don't have to adopt them as ours. We're here uniquely, as the Daily Word reminded us, made in the image of God. We're here to express that aspect of us that is uniquely, individually us. You know, we have our parents' DNA. We also have the life of the breath, the DNA, if you will, or the God gene, whatever. We have the DNA of God in us too. So it's not just what we were born with, it's what we were given at our birth. So you try to cultivate what is unique in you. But before you can cultivate what's unique in you, you have to know what it is, right? So you get to judge it by knowing what are your tastes, what are you drawn to, attracted to, where do you have the most fun? And I'm not talking about pleasure, I'm talking about that alive feeling, that enthusiasm that makes you, enthusiasm imbued with the Spirit of God, enthusiasm, enthuse. Do you feel infused with the Spirit of God when you're doing whatever it is that makes you feel that way? I call that in me the voice of my guide, the voice of my guide, my God, the voice. Some people call it the inner voice of your authority, or the voice of your inner authority, if you're a little less spiritual inclined language. So I'm going to tell you about 3 stories of people who followed that inner voice of their guide. Mahatma Gandhi. Now, Mahatma is like a title of honor. It means great soul. Well, Gandhi had a difficult path becoming that great soul. He was a lawyer in India, but he took a job in South Africa to represent an Indian merchant living and working in Africa. And then he set up his law practice there to represent other Indians, native Indians who were practicing their trade in Africa. He experienced tremendous, humiliating discrimination in South Africa due to his color. He remembered that 20 years of misery when he returned to India as one of the most creative periods in his life. It was a moment of truth. He said he would never again accept injustice as part of the natural order anywhere. He would defend his dignity as an Indian and as a man. He returned, of course, to India a different man. And his country became a different country because of that. And something I didn't really focus on, I read it and knew it, but I'm glad I repeated it in this study, in this introspection. Martin Luther King became a student of Gandhi. Gandhi was his mentor. And Martin Luther King changed his country too. Now, those experiences of oppression and humiliation, we might look at them as negative, but they were actually part of what brought them to that goodness, to that divine expression. Reminds me of that old, the horse ran away. Was that good or bad? No, he says, I don't know. Could be good, could be bad. The horse ran away and came back with a herd of wild horses. And the son rides a horse. One of the wild horses breaks a leg. Oh, what a shame. Oh, could be bad, could be good. And then soldiers come in, taking away the young people to fight a battle somewhere. And they overlook the handicapped or broken leg of the son. And they say, could be good, could be bad. And the farmer whose son it was said, could be good or bad. Who knows? And we never really know as we're going through the experience until maybe sometimes we die without ever having known what effect it had in the future. Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you for whatever this was. Now, I'm not saying that we all have a calling at our birth to do something like that, but we all have something within us at our birth that is divine and is ours to express. Our soul calls us to live our authentic self. And we don't always listen easily, so it gets very loud sometimes. Expresses sometimes in moments of crisis because we didn't listen in moments of meditation. Whatever, it will be heard. And then, when we take it to heart, that is, into the sacred place where God resides, there, you take it to heart, and then it can set free the paralysis in your life. And that brings me to my second story. Ted Shawn, a young divinity student. He was stricken with a paralyzing disease. I think it was diphtheria, I don't know, whatever it was. You can Google it. His doctor, as part of his recovery, suggested dance therapy. Ted responded deeply to that dance therapy. And I have a couple of dancers out here, so I know they know what I'm talking about. He dedicated his life to dance, and he didn't go back to that seminary. He went on to become one of the fathers of modern dance. He was even knighted by the King of Denmark for his efforts on behalf of the Royal Danish Ballet. I think that's pretty awesome. Well, studying God didn't heal Ted. Embodying God in dance was his healing. Now, it's interesting to me that music and dance is an integral part of a lot of our human worship of the divine. Keep that in mind. My third example of listening to the sacred voice is Steve Jobs. In 1974, he and I think this is so funny, they traveled to India after reading Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Well, the trip was a disappointment. Jobs later said he realized we weren't going to find a place where we could go for a month and become enlightened. Well, he continued to meditate, though, and read the autobiography of a yogi annually. In fact, he gave a bunch of them out at his memorial service. Well, obviously, somebody did. Not him. His work life became a higher priority. He kept up the other, but his work life was what enthused him. And you might say his spiritual energy found expression through his work. And that was also true, if you think about it, with Gandhi and with Ted Shawn. Their spiritual energy was expressed in their main work. Gandhi in his work as a humanitarian activist, Martin Luther King, of course. Ted Shawn in his dance, that was spiritual energy being expressed, the divine within. And Steve Jobs, the divine within him expressed. Got us all our Apple phones if you have one. Jobs said this in a Stanford commencement address. I think it's the only one he did in 2005. He said, "Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Everything else is secondary." So after you do this little review of your life, or after you did it, if you did it, you'll probably still make a list of some things to do. Ongoing. Well, here's a little advice from Lao Tzu. He said, "To become learned, each day add something. To become enlightened, each day drop something." Yeah. That's one of those thoughts. Yeah. So my feeling is, as far as dropping things, you'd probably be better off without some of your relationships, without a lot of, now I'm speaking for myself, folks, without a lot of your stuff and most of your thoughts. We need spaciousness to create good stuff. We need spaciousness, sometimes even geographically, but you know, when you feel crowded or distracted or you have an impossible to-do list, overwhelming, how can you hear that still, small, quiet voice within you that speaks for your divine source? How can you even be happy when you feel trapped and suffocated? Where's the happiness in that? Eric Butterworth said, "Make life an adventure and you will find the holy grail of happiness." Ooh. I'm a little timid about adventures. We each have our own criteria for what becomes an adventure. But think about it. Just a thought. Where are your adventures? So my number one suggestion for healing yourself and hearing that voice, be attentive, because no matter what you're doing, that voice is more important. When you think you hear the little niggling thought, stop what you're doing and listen. As you're ruminating on becoming the self you were born to be, here's a thought from Don Miguel Ruiz. Babies are very wise. They live their true nature right out loud. Babies, according to Don Miguel, are born wild and free, and their smiles are not calculated. Their laughter's real. Their tears are too, and when the tears dry, the hurt evaporates too. Then those beautiful babies become domesticated. That's what happened to us. Their wildness is tamed and their soul's voice becomes a whisper. Well, some of us are so far past that wild and free beginning that we don't even recognize ourselves. So, time to recommit to discovering who we truly are, or at least who we might truly be. Sometimes it's baby steps, you know. So as you get to know, though, you'll find that you're going to be making some changes, maybe small ones. They're easier to deal with at a time. But sometimes pretty big changes. I like what poet Sarah Teasdale advised, because I follow this advice pretty much. She says, "Spend all you have for loveliness and never count the cost." Well, in my case, you could substitute books for loveliness, but spend all you have for books and never count the cost. I do try to, you know, go to used bookstores, so I'm not contributing to the landfills, but anyway, there's always a way to explore this. I like this story. My children grew up, by the way, with the thought, Mom says, when they said they couldn't do it, there's always a way. That was kind of like my motto as a mom. I had 2 sons, and believe me, I can't do it. There's no way to get it done. There's always a way. That was my answer. Well, here's the story. It's The Matchmaker. Now, by the way, Netflix did a series on the Indian, that is Hindu, the Indian custom of arranged marriages. And so they followed that series, that reality series, up with a reality series based on Jewish matchmaking. but I didn't know that until I was doing a little research after I read the story about the matchmaker, which I'm going to read to you now as soon as I can hush up. The reality series, the story begins with Jewish matchmaker. It's called Shadchan. I guess that's the Yiddish for matchmaker. The Shadchan must have been a while before they had a paycheck. They get paid, by the way, when the couple gets engaged. Before then, no money. So this Shadchan took it upon himself to go to a poor man, said, "I want to arrange a marriage for your son." Poor man replies, "I never interfere in my son's life." Shadchan responds, "But the girl is Lord Rothschild's daughter." Well, in that case. So next, the Shadchan approaches Lord Rothschild. He says, "I have a husband for your daughter. My daughter's too young to marry." "Oh, but this young man is already a vice president of the World Bank." "Oh, well." So finally, the Shadchan goes to see the president of the World Bank. "I have a young man to recommend to you as a vice president." "I already have so many vice presidents, I don't know what to do with them all." "Oh, but this young man is Lord Rothschild's son-in-law." "Oh, well, in that case." So, as you see, none of this had taken place, except in the Shadchan's mind that it would work. And I trust that it did, except it's just a story. So, of course it worked. And they all lived happily forever after. But it is inspiring. Now, one of my favorite teachers at Unity, I keep checking my time here because I said I might talk for an hour and a half. And I remembered that somebody said, "Yeah, go ahead, talk as long as you want, because we leave at 11. So if you see me looking up, I want to get out before you do. So one of my favorite teachers when I was at Unity Village was Robert Brummett. My husband was actually in seminary at Unity Village, and I was working at TWA there to support him, so we didn't have to work. So there I was, Unity Village, and I attended Robert Brummett's Sangha. He was not only a Unity minister, but he was a Buddhist, practicing Buddhist with a Sangha. So I attended his Sangha while my late husband was in seminary, and this is from Robert's blog. He still has that blog, by the way, but this blog was written in 2019. My husband was ordained in 1999, so a while back. Spiritual teachers, this is Robert speaking. Spiritual teachers from every age and every tradition have baffled us with seemingly paradoxical statements. To find myself, I must lose myself. To live, I must die. I must yield in order to overcome. And we're taught, in order to be full, empty yourself. To become everything, become nothing. And Robert goes on to say his favorite paradoxical teaching is from the Indian sage Nisargadatta Maharaj, who said, "Wisdom tells me I am nothing. Love tells me I am everything. And between those two, my life flows." I love that. And then Brummett quotes again from Nisargadatta. "The mind creates an abyss. The heart crosses it." And that really is the whole essence of it. Go into the heart where you can cross every abyss and make a way over, through, under every barrier, even dissolve it in love, which I used to call the great solvent. Love is the great solvent. So here, in summary, now you know I'm wrapping it up. You were born with a unique divine blueprint. Live from that divine blueprint. Make life easier. Pay attention to your life's pattern. Pay attention to what's going on. Periodically review it. That kind of just makes sense, doesn't it? Eric Butterworth said, "Make life an adventure and you'll find the holy grail of happiness." I think I read that. It's true. Keep your divine it front and center, whatever it is, because it's your God thing and that's a good thing. I like alliteration too. Gandhi, Ted, and Steve, they all showed keeping their divine it front and center. Look at challenges as possibilities. Ask yourself, where's another way here? Remember that matchmaker story. Make space in your head and your schedule for life to move through you. Remember Lao Tzu. To become enlightened, each day drop something. And treat yourself through this process always with kindness. Just glad to be in the game. Strive to be in harmony with life and its rhythms, and that'll put you in harmony with yourself. You let the Christ presence within be your guide. If you're drowning in muck, connect to the sacred mystery of life where you are. And then look for your adventures. Life is full of them. We're not here to conquer life. We're here to live it and to be grateful for it. It's probably our greatest adventure, encompassing all of them. Life presents a lot of options and some non-options. Show up. Do what feels right in that moment and to you. Always your judgment, not someone else's. See what happens and then adjust. That's kind of like flying an airplane, I've heard. So it goes. Amen.
It was a beautiful message. And I love the part about when you tell your child, you know, they tell you, I can't do this, can't be done. Yes. And if anyone here has ever met this man in the back of the room, Paul Shepard, all you got to do is tell him it can't be done, and it will be done. So, in honor of Martin Luther King's Day tomorrow, I wrote this song, not thinking about him. It's called Believe, and it has everything to do with Gandhi and Martin Luther King and how we are at this church. So, I'm not Linda, but I'm going to tell you, choir, stand up now. Doing the best I can without my wife. All right. life always rearranges. I can love through change. No need for useless hurting. No space for those that pull down. I am that needed change. I don't have to make believe. No, no. What I am is what you see. Life always rearranges. I can love to change. I don't have to make believe. No, no. What I am is what you see. Life always rearranges. I can love through change. I can love through change. I don't have to make believe. No, no. What I am is what you see. Life always rearranges. I can love through change. I don't have to make believe. Oh, what I am is what you see. Life always rearranges. I can love through change. I don't have to make believe. No, no. What I am is what you see. Life always rearranges. I can love change. I can love through change. I can love through change. I can love through
Great message, great music, great platform person. Okay, we're doing the offering. Please put it in your hands and say our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. There is a board meeting after service today. Miss Sherry asked me to say that, and I actually remembered. If you need any prayer support today, we have Ed as our prayer chaplain today. Well, you're doing it again. Yoga with Lana on Mondays at 9:45 and 11. Prayer circle on Tuesday mornings from 11 to 11:30. Are you tinkling over there because you have something to say?
There will be no choir rehearsal this Wednesday. So don't show up because the door will be locked and no one will be here. But the following Wednesday,
What's the date?
I can't remember what the date is. The Wednesday after this one coming. There will be choir rehearsal at 6 o'clock. Whatever the date is, you figure out.
Renee?
Yeah, my wife asked me to announce the coffee, tea, and metaphysics tomorrow. The gift speaker.
It's Linda? Linda was here, she know it. Would you mind coming up and blessing our offering?
What's that date? I'm sure.
Thank you, God, for these gifts that were given with generous and open hearts. Thank you, God, most especially for those here as they go out into the community with love. And I pray with each one of these requests that they be as they should be, and that each person who has a request recognizes that all is truly in divine order, and that we are always held in excellent hands in eternal love. Thank you, God.
If anyone would like to schedule Reiki, please see Sherry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Corey, choir, you two, and Paul and his gang.
Yes.
All right, let's all stand, sing our song.